Hey everybody, Neil Malik with Knack Training here, bringing you another Everyday Office video. In today's video, I want to talk about sharing your calendar, both internally and externally from your company. Now, by default, most companies have it set up that the rest of your coworkers can view your calendar, but they can't actually make any edits or changes to your calendar. We can see how we can make changes to that on the Home tab at the top of the screen by clicking on the Share Calendar button. If you have a slightly older version of Outlook than I do, you're going to see it listed as Calendar Permissions. I can click on Share Calendar there, specify the calendar that I want, and notice here that in Office 365 it's written as My Organization can view when I'm busy. In an older version of Outlook, this would say Default is free/busy. But it's the same basic concept. Everybody within the organization, by default, can see whether you're free or you're busy. Now, if you want to extend special permissions to individuals within the organization, you can click Add here, specify the account that you want to give special permissions to, like Alejandro Ochoa here, add that person, and click OK. Now down below, this is kind of interesting. Again, if you have a slightly older version of Outlook than I do, you're going to see a different area down here at the bottom where mine has been very simplified. You can see here that currently I'm allowing Alejandro to see the details. I can also allow Alejandro to edit the details. So edit, as you can see when I hover on top here, this is where people can view, edit, and delete meetings and appointments. Now, if I had an older version of Outlook, they would have given me the individual increments of can they edit things that they put on there or edit everything, and they've just gone ahead and simplified that here for us today. Now, another thing that we can do is we can switch over to Delegate View, but I want to show you the full range of what delegates can do, so we're going to avoid this for now. We're going to set this as Alejandro can now edit my calendar, click OK. And now that level of permissions is extended to Alejandro. Now, if somebody outside the organization needs to be able to see the calendar, on the other hand, that's where you're going to need to be able to email the calendar to somebody else. So if I go over here to my email and I write a new email message, you'll notice that one of the things that I can include when I go to the Attach Item drop-down menu is the ability to attach my calendar. So inserting the calendar into an email to somebody is the way that I can send a snapshot of my calendar to basically anybody who's got an email address. So I can choose calendar here, specify my calendar over, let's say, the next 7 days, and give them the availability to see the limited details, the subject lines, the availability, and the times that we're talking about. In addition to that, if I go to the advanced area, you can see here, include the details of private items could also be included, and do I want to see this as a daily schedule? Then I click OK, and an email is composed where you can quickly and easily make your way through my calendar, see what's happening each day of the week, as well as download this ICS file and load that into your calendar program of choice. This would not be updated when my calendar updates because this is just a snapshot of this moment in time. Now, lastly, let's talk about Delegate Access. If we go to the File tab in the top left-hand corner of the screen, trace down to Account Settings, you'll notice that Delegate Access is one of your options. Now, you'll also remember that it was there as one of my permission settings in Office 365. But let's go straight to Delegate Access here where we can see the full range of possibilities. Notice here it says delegates can send items on your behalf, create and respond to meeting requests. You can also, down here at the bottom, give them specific rights about the calendar requests and other items. So let's click on Add here. Let's find Junyu, who will be my assistant on this, and click OK. So June has been added as a delegate on my Outlook. You can see here that I can extend to June the ability to read, create, and modify items in my calendar, as well as my task list, as well as my inbox, etc. But specifically, when it comes to the calendar, you see the checkbox right there. The delegates receive copies of meeting-related messages sent to me. I can also make sure to click the checkbox and send June an email related to these permission settings. I'll click OK, and the last thing I need to make sure of is the right choice down here. So if June is my delegate, that means she's probably my personal assistant, my executive assistant, my administrative assistant, etc. And she's probably handling my calendar for me. Do I still want to see a copy of meeting requests, meeting responses, etc.? Or should the delegate be the only person who sees that meeting request? So I'll choose right here, my delegates only, as the person who's going to see meeting requests, responses, etc. Click OK. And let's go look at what it's like for June here in just a second when this loads. So as we can see here, if I'm logged in as June Yu, the first thing you note is that Neil Malik sent me a message letting me know that I'm a delegate on his calendar. Additionally, if I go up here to the top of the screen to add calendar, I'm here in Outlook Web Access version. I'll go here to From Directory and put in Neil. There we go. So there's the Neil Malik account right there, and click Open. So I have Neil's calendar open as well as my own as June. I can turn off June's calendar, and there's just the Neil Malik calendar open and running. That's great. I'll also stay in my inbox here. Now, let's imagine that Alejandro Ochoa opens up his Outlook. He goes over to the calendar, and he schedules a new meeting for the 27th. All right, so let's go ahead and say this is an important meeting. Let's specify a location here. Let's add a person. There's Neil. And let's specify a start time and an end time. Lovely. I'll hit send. And now Alejandro has sent a meeting invitation to the Neil Malik account for this meeting on the 27th of June. If I look over here at June's calendar, I see Alejandro's email message shows up right here. Do I want to accept or decline it? But let's go look at Neil's account. See right here? Neil has yet to see the email come in from Alejandro because he assigned June as his delegate and said he should not even see meeting requests that were sent to him. So now I can go back over here as June. I can accept the meeting, send the response out. As Alejandro, I can look at my inbox, and I can see in a second here that the Neil Malik account will recognize and accept that meeting. There we go. So June Yu accepted this on behalf of Neil Malik. And when I go look at my calendar as Neil Malik, I can see that on the 27th of June, sure enough, there's my important meeting. So as the executive in this situation, by assigning June a delegate permission and making sure she was the only one who saw meeting requests, I didn't even know that that was happening. June would have to actually reach out to me to let me know that she approved a specific meeting.